This video provides information for rape victims. In the past few years, victims' rights have greatly improved. You can expect compassionate care from the police and the doctors. Many protocols have been developed to protect the victim's privacy as well as to provide comfort and support. Many years ago, rape victims were afraid to report a rape because they feared they might be victimized a second time by the police or doctors. Those days of victim abuse are gone. Laws have been enacted to protect the victim's privacy, welfare, and safety. Victims are often provided a rape counselor and a victim's advocate. A victim's advocate helps guide the victim through the legal and medical process with the least amount of hassle possible. After law enforcement is involved, you should be in contact with members of the local Victims Assistance Group. These are trained professionals and volunteers who help victims of crime through these difficult times. And as a crime victim, you have rights too. Everyone is familiar with the constitutional rights granted to criminal defendants, such as the presumption of innocence, the right to a speedy trial, the right to remain silent. In the past, there were no rights given to help the victims of crime. However, in recent years, the courts and the lawmakers have realized that victims have rights too. Victims have rights such as the right to be treated with dignity and fairness and with respect for your dignity and privacy. The right to be reasonably protected from the accused offender. The right to be notified of court proceedings. The right to be present at all public court proceedings. The right to speak with the attorney prosecuting the criminal. The right to financial restitution. The right to information about the conviction, sentencing, imprisonment, and release of the offender. In Florida, the rights have been expanded to allow the victim to force HIV testing of the accused offender if there is any possibility of the transference of the HIV virus. However, despite these added protections, only about 16% of rape victims will ever enjoy the satisfaction of knowing their attacker went to prison. Unfortunately, in over 80% of all the rape cases, the criminal does not spend 1 minute in prison. But don't be discouraged. Just because the criminal justice system fails, you still might be able to recover some compensation with an experienced personal injury attorney. There are certain things that rape victims can do to ease the pain. No one can go through the trauma of a rape alone. You'll need many kinds of help from your friends, associates, and professionals. Although it may be difficult to ask for help, try to find a good friend who can support you through this difficult time. Your friend does not have to know every detail, nor do they need to be an expert. You only need a helpful and caring friend. If possible, have your friend go with you to appointments and meetings. It's best for you not to go alone, because there are still people who may blame or disbelieve you, and by having a friend there, it will make the meetings less stressful. Also, a friend can help you remember certain questions or information you may need. Your friend can help you remember what was said and write down important information for you. Try to get help sooner rather than later. The more you don't understand, the more self-doubt and lack of certainty you'll experience. The goal is to move you from being a victim to regaining your power and confidence. Also, it's a good idea to keep a notebook to track all of the information, names, phone numbers, and case numbers that you might need. And try and prepare a 1-minute summary of what happened. This will make it easier for you to explain to the numerous legal and medical personnel what happened, and it will assist you in making the explanation to them without the emotional aspects taking over and causing mistakes, misstatements, or omissions of important information. Children can be victims too. In today's world, every child is vulnerable. Many children do not or cannot tell anyone about the abuse. There's rarely physical evidence of abuse because physical force is not necessary for the criminal to victimize a child. Some signs of sexual abuse of a child include increased fear or dislike of certain people or places, nightmares or inability to sleep, physical complaints, headaches, anxiety, depression, running away, returning to a younger or more babyish type behavior, self-destructive behavior. Sadly, 2/3 of all prisoners convicted of rape or sexual assault had committed their crime against a child. 3 out of 10 child victimizers reported that they had committed their crimes against multiple children. 3 out of 4 children were females. If you're the parent of a child who is a victim of sexual abuse, call the police. Do not rely on Child Protective Services to investigate the crime. Call the police. The police are the only ones who have the authority and training to conduct a criminal investigation. I'm proud to support the Florida Council Against Sexual Violence, and I'm a member of the Crime Victim Bar Association. These are 2 great groups that help victims of violent crime. If you would like more information or if you have more questions, please call me, Matt Powell, at 813-222-2222.